Hey guys. Woo! It's the JJCU2 launch party. So excited to be here with you guys and just sending out this link to my team so they can share the love and be with you guys more fully. How are you? Guest being here today, whether you are watching this live or doing a replay, that this is time for you to go so deep into your money mindset. We are so excited over here at Jesse Johnson Coaching to share so many more tools and resources to help you, our YouTube audience, with whatever it is that is challenging you in the realm of money, sales, spirituality, and entrepreneurship. And we've got tons and tons of great stuff coming. And today is kind of more of an intimate party. Like, let's get together and celebrate this new expansion. And so we're going to do some really fundamental teachings around money mindset and then go into some Q&A. So if you are here and you want to just say hi, go into the little chat box and tell me that you're here. Tell me your name. And if you have questions about money mindset, what I'm going to ask you to do is hold them until a little bit further into the call so that they don't get lost in the chat. Let's, for this first half hour, use the chat to just kind of like interact and celebrate and say hi. Tell me who's out there. Why are we talking about money mindset today? Because I sent out this questionnaire to my list, and in the feedback that I got, money mindset was the most requested topic. And so I just, and it just felt right. Like, this is the launch of this channel, Bridging Money and Spirituality. What better possible topic to begin with than money mindset? It's such a juicy, rich place to begin. And so I'm going to explain 4 big topics to you guys today. We've got up to an hour. I'll do some teaching for about a half an hour, and then there'll be lots and lots of time for you guys to do Q&A. And I want to just tell you right here at the beginning that I will be doing a live event on the East Coast in late September. And if you stay here for the duration of the call and then follow our little instructions, we'll enter you to receive 2 free tickets to that event. So stay tuned. So the 4 big ideas that I'm going to be speaking to you about today are: 1, what's possible to create financially and what isn't. Big, sort of basic mindset issue. How to use the moments of frustration that inevitably come up in life to turn your life around. What your job is and also what it isn't when it comes to manifesting. And we'll talk a little bit about packaging and pricing, because that's also kind of like a logistics piece, but that comes into it. So, you guys excited? I love seeing you here. You guys look amazing. All your little like images and glyphs and emojis, I love seeing them. So let's start with the first piece. What's possible to create? Right? When we're talking about mindset, the truth is this is the heart of the issue. What is it that we're really capable of? And there's a lot of people talking about this out there, and in fact, I'm guessing that most everyone here has your own relationship to the idea that you can create anything that you want. But then that's not actually what most people walk around experiencing. And my mastery is in helping spiritual teachers and healers, coaches, people that facilitate transformation in integrating the energy of money. And what I notice is that all of them know the principle that we create our own reality. They all understand the idea that anything is possible. But in their lived day-to-day experience, that's not really what it feels like. In fact, most people walk around day-to-day experiencing quite the opposite. So I want to begin the foundation of this call with a shared understanding that the idea that we can create anything is directly connected. That's only true if you believe it. This is why some people only focus on mindset. It's that powerful. Mindset is the work of looking at what you actually believe and shifting it to support you in creating the thing that you want. Because if you believe that you can create it, then you can. So the original question was, what can I create financially? Like, what's possible? And the simple answer is whatever it is you believe you can create. One of the first things that I have all of my clients do is identify how much money they want. And interestingly, most of the people that come to me fall into one of two categories. They either don't really think about money consciously at all. They kind of avoid the topic. If that resonates for you, give a little thumbs up, like the video, give me an emoji, whatever, jump in there and say something about that. If that's you, they will, if I ask them what they want in their life, they'll vision all these beautiful things, how much service they're going to do in the world, how much impact they want to make, how many people they want to help, what kind of business they want to start, what kind of retreat they want to lead, whatever. And they just leave out the financial component. So that's one group of people. And the other group of people, to be honest, they tend to overshoot. Like $1 million or $200,000 every month, or they just go really big, but it's not necessarily directly connected to what they actually believe they can have. So if you have to close your eyes, plug your ears and go, la, 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 in order to say a number, that's not your number. Okay? Your number, the number that you want, the number that you believe in is something that you can imagine receiving. So again, if we take out your personal mindset and we're just talking in the abstract, anything is possible, really. But it's sort of irrelevant that anything is possible, right? If it's not possible for you. What's possible for you? That's really the question that people are asking. What is possible for me financially? And the answer to that is whatever it is that you truly desire and truly believe in. And so I just want to invite you guys all right now to see what that number is. It does not have to be a number that you've ever made in your life. It could be significantly bigger than any number that you've made in your life. And it could even be $1 million or $200,000 a month, like I just said. But it has to be something that you can feel in your body. You can imagine those checks coming in, filling up your bank account, month after month, week after week, day after day, hour after hour. And really feel kind of lit up, maybe a little nervous, a little excited, a little terrified, but mostly really alive in imagining bringing in that kind of money. So think about that. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Priya. Hi, Cassandra. Hi, Sakura. Hi, Chris. Hi, Janelle. It's so, so, so nice to have you guys here. Thanks so much for coming to celebrate with me. So, what isn't possible for you to create? Again, nothing, right? If you can imagine it, then you can create it. And for the purposes of this call with this audience, it's really, really, really important to just be totally honest that you can only create what your mindset, what your belief allows. So if you can't imagine it, if you can't see it in your mind's eye, if you can't feel it in your body, if you can't dream about it and feel opened and excited and expanded as you do that, then it's not possible for you yet. It's not possible for you now. Doesn't mean it's not possible for you later. Anything is possible. You guys with me? Making sense? One of my favorite math teachers in graduate school, because I don't know, you guys may not know that, but I went to graduate school for math and education at Columbia. And one of my teachers there was Russian. And he would constantly say that. I just thought it was so sweet. Making sense about everything. It was hilarious. So does this make sense to you guys? We on the same page? There's a beautiful song that my beloved partner wrote called Everything You Want Is Already Here. If you haven't listened to this song, just wait. It's so good, and it captures the essence of this teaching. So if you want it, it's here. And if you want the soundtrack to this, just type into Google, Everything You Want Is Already Here, and you will get this track. It's on Spotify, iTunes, all the places. Sri Kala is his artist name. So everything you want is already here. Everything you want is already here. What does this mean? It's your desire is the universe indicating to you that that thing is already in your energetic field. It might even be in your physical field. You don't know. You want it because you feel that on an energetic level. So this is very significant because most of us walk around feeling like we want stuff that we don't have. And then, of course, we create that idea. We perpetuate the continuous manifestation of wanting but not having. And the work of mindset, and in particular money mindset, is really about flipping that and understanding that if you want it, it means it's here and it's here right now. You would not want it otherwise. And I give this example regularly. It's like I don't ever think about being a neurosurgeon. I don't want to be a neurosurgeon. It's never called to me. I don't even really watch like those kind of TV shows. Like that's not what I'm here for. I don't think about it. Every single thing that I have desired as an adult in my entrepreneurial life, I have created. And every time we do that, every time we let our desire be our guide in life, it's like be our director, then we find that it's here for us. And the more that you do that, the more you retrain your subconscious mind to change your beliefs. And so this is just a little like tag in that I think will be really helpful for you to understand that the work of mindset, changing your mindset, changing your belief system happens in two ways. You train your brain to think different thoughts, right? You work with your mind consciously to deliberately think in a new way. And then when you do that, you create new results, take new action from your new thinking, and then create new results. And then those new results actually change your subconscious thinking. So it's kind of like this beautiful input-output system that's constantly recirculating. Like the more energy you put into your mindset, the more you will get back and the easier it will be to continue to grow your mindset. So very, very, very important premise. There is no work that you can do powerfully around changing your life without looking at your mindset, without looking at your beliefs, without looking at what you understand yourself to be capable of. And you're always capable of more. We all are. Okay? So what is possible to create financially and what isn't? That's topic one. Everybody just, if you're watching, just take a moment and see if there's any questions that you have about that. We are going to come back to it, but I want to just flag that before we move on to the next topic. Second topic, how do you use the moments of frustration to turn things around, right? It's so easy when things are frustrating to just feel stuck and trapped and limited and like furious, to get angry, to like shake your fist at the universe. What the hell, bro? Come on. I'm trying to make money here. I'm trying to live my purpose here. Why isn't it working, right? We all have that frustration. And again, part of why I love working with spiritual teachers and healers and like these transformational guides is because you guys understand how to work with difficult feelings. You know already to not believe 100% in whatever thoughts you're thinking. You have more flexibility. You've trained your mind already through your own spiritual practices. You've already experienced change. You facilitate change for other people. So you have a really strong foundation. You know how to self-reflect, right? It makes this whole thing so much easier. And so then from that place of relative mastery, most of the people that I know and work with have some foundation that gives them a sense of mastery in that area. From that place, you can really look objectively. What is it that's happening? I'm not getting what I want. I wanted this amount of money, and that didn't happen last month. It's essential, especially around money, to be objective. And I just want to flag that in here because it's so, actually, the topic of money is so emotional and so tender for so many of us. I actually think it touches on emotional material for everyone. And we're rarely given support in looking at it, talking about it, thinking about it, expressing it, or changing it. And so it's often not only a very tender, private, emotional place, but it feels like raw because nobody's ever looked there before. And so it's very important to just be extra compassionate with yourself and really be vigilant about not letting yourself become judgmental as you look at the truth. So let's say you have a business. I'm guessing that most of you guys have businesses. You can kind of raise your hand, say what your business is if you want. That would be helpful. And if you're anything like me, you want more money, right? You don't like ever get to a point where you're just like, I'm good. That was enough. Because there's always more. There's always bigger projects. There's always other people that you want to bring onto your team. There's the expansion always wants more money. And for some of you, you're probably like struggling. You're already overspending or under earning, or there's a gap financially that you are struggling to get over. So that there's an emotional component there you can probably feel. But if we can sort of put that to the side and just look at the truth that you took certain actions to create the financial results that you have created so far. And probably you didn't take certain actions also to create the financial results that you did last month. It's not good or bad. It's not right or wrong. It's maybe not exactly all that you want, but that's not good or bad. That's just interesting. It's just data. So the opportunity is to actually use the moments of frustration or contrast to learn what it is that you're doing on the inside, and then make a deliberate choice to do something different. But in order to understand how to change it's a tweak. I'm telling you, for almost everyone that I work with, the thing that needs to shift is subtle. It's on the inside. It's a small thing. Almost like if you think about rocket science, just a little tweak, a little miscalculation can send that rocket right back into the ocean to explode as soon as it takes off, whatever. So it's like that. You are a sensitive system. It doesn't take much to shift your results, but you are doing something on the inside to create what's happening on the outside. And so when you start to study, like science, with that level of objectivity, what's really going on, then you can actually use those moments of contrast, use those moments of frustration to completely turn things around. It is actually our mistakes, our moments of contrast, our moments of frustration that give us the data and information that we need in order to make the changes that have to happen in order for us to create what we want in our lives. The mistakes, the frustration, the discomfort, all of that is in service of the big vision. It's not in the way. You're in the way. And then but you don't know that until you see whatever it is that you're creating on the outside. And then it's like, oh, look. So let me give you an example. Many of you guys have heard me talk about the GPS webinar metaphor. GPS metaphor. I did a webinar on it. And that's a great tool for thinking about this topic. So in the beginning of my business, I had programs that I wanted to sell, and I was getting on the phone and calling people that I wanted to talk to, that I thought might be great clients that I would enjoy working with and that I could help. And I was hearing a lot of no after no after no. And it was so easy for me to take that personally, to feel like I had done something wrong. There was something wrong with me. Why were they saying no? I felt so rejected. I felt so vulnerable. Like, oh, it's so painful, right? And that pattern, by the way, that like going into the emotion of it was actually a total distraction. It slowed me down a lot. The breakthrough happened when I was able to zoom out and look at the whole picture, which was I'm doing something. I'm showing up in a particular way, or I'm creating a particular dynamic in these calls that is causing people to say no. And that's not wrong. You could call that a mistake, something to learn from. But I'm doing that. So what am I doing? What am I doing to create these no's? And immediately it was clear to me. There were like 5 different things that I was doing. One is, and really the most important, was that I was buying into their story. So then I started to work on that. And that became another mindset tool, which, just side note, I love this connection because this is why I teach sales now. Because the act of doing sales and unpacking the codependency that comes up when we're, hurt by rejection or whatever like that is the best work for changing the mindset also. Because in order to really stand for somebody in a sales conversation, I had to totally believe that they were capable of creating what they said they wanted, including finding the money to hire me, or finding the time to do the work together, or finding the courage to host their first retreat, or start a new business, or raise their prices. So my mindset isn't just for me. It's for every person that I work with. It's for all of you. I believe you guys are capable of anything. And I know that you can use frustration to turn your life around. So that's part of what I hold. And that's part of my offering to my clients, is that mindset that I have so clear. And I'm sharing that because I want you to, I think it helps us, especially those of us that are here for service, that are here to dedicate our lives to helping other people. It's actually really motivating to do the mindset work, knowing how impactful it will be for other people. I was recently on a panel with a bunch of other phenomenal people who all have done this beautiful work with David Nagel. We've all created massive success and helped so many people. And it was so inspiring to see this. It was a relatively small group, but it was like 10 people on this stage, all of whom David had helped, knowing how many people each of us have helped, knowing how much, and tracing it back. It's like David Nagel made this beautiful decision to stop working on a dock when he was in his early 20s and to create this, what now is a multi-million-dollar professional development company, personal development company, and coaching business. And because he said yes, all of our lives are changed. I mean, so beautiful. So when you use the contrast in your life, when you use the frustration in your life to look at the truth of what you're doing on the inside and then shift that, not only will it change your results, it'll change what you're capable of offering every single person in your life. Friend, colleague, employee, client, everyone. Does that sound exciting? Hi, Michelle. Hi, Adam Aris. So nice to see you guys here. Thanks for being here. All right, so topic 2. How do you use moments of frustration to turn your life around? Once again, just take a moment, see if you have any questions about that. That's point 2 or topic 2. Write them down. Make sure you got what you need, because we're going to move on to the next topic. This is one of my favorite things to talk about. What is your job and what isn't your job in manifesting? This is one of the most common misconceptions in everyone that I work with, and not just everyone that I work with. It's like it's a phenomenon in the industry, in the coaching and transformational industry, that people, by default, we want to know the how. In fact, I bet it's happening right now on this call. And again, you can like do a little thumbs up, click the bell if you're like, yeah, me too. Right? You want to know the how. You want the concrete steps that are going to tell you, I want this, 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 this. So tell me, Jesse, I want steps 1 through 10. This is why listicles are so popular. It's why, we think and organize in terms of bullets. It's a helpful organizational tool. But it's a misconception when you are trying to create something in your life. Brenda, it's so nice to see you here. Welcome. I'm going to say that again. If you are focusing on the how, it is getting in the way of you creating what you want in your life. Which doesn't mean that the how isn't important, but it is irrelevant as step number 1. And if you are trying to do the how as step number 1, you are absolutely getting in the way of your manifestation over and over and over again. And what you will create instead is confusion, doubt, uncertainty, struggle, frustration, confusion, doubt, uncertainty, struggle, okay, on repeat. Punctuated by moments of distraction, right? You're watching some fantastic TV show or whatever. So let yourself feel in this moment your own hunger for a step-by-step list of things to do. And just soften that. See how much you can kind of let that like relax. Take a break. Put its feet up. It's important. It's just not important yet. What is essential and what has to come first is your vision. Because if you don't know what you want to create, then there's absolutely no how necessary. It's like looking for a recipe before you've decided what you want to eat. I am actually a person who has done that. It's maddening. You can't, you can do it, but think about how long you'll go. And then you might, if you're anything like me, you'll choose a recipe that looks fun, but you won't have the ingredients. And you'll be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make that because I don't have the ingredients. I'd have to go to the store. Let me look for another recipe. It is the most inefficient. And for some people, they'll like me, if I'm looking for a recipe like that, I will end up ordering pizza. It will completely take me out. I'll distract myself so much looking for the to-do list that I really want, hoping that will give me the vision. So let me say that again, because I think that that's actually the best way that it's ever come through. You guys just called it forth. The how is the cart before the horse. If the cart is before the horse, if the how is before the vision, you will not go anywhere. You will create, but it will be haphazard and unconscious. And what people mean when they talk about manifestation, when they say that word, is just conscious creation. Because we're all manifesting all the time. But that's not what people want to talk about when they say that word manifestation. They're talking about, I want to manifest the shit I want in my head. I want to create the thing that I dream of. Well, what is that thing? Write it down. Make a vision board that displays it. You could even make a YouTube montage, right? Collect the images of the ocean or the sunshine or the palm trees or the beach view or the clients or the retreat or the money or the numbers in your bank account. That has to happen first. And if you're skipping it, nothing else will matter. Nothing. You'll think that you're manifesting, consciously, but really you're just letting your subconscious material take over again. So, and I'll just give you a little counter example. I, about 2 hours ago, rearranged my living room so that I could sit right here. And I did not actually, I was thinking about a few things. That's why I created this. But I wasn't thinking about the sun. And so you guys are seeing the result of this unconscious creation, because I didn't include in my vision that I wanted the lighting to be a particular way. I just kind of thought, oh, by default, it'll be great. No. No, the sun is blinding me now because it's 4 o'clock instead of 2 o'clock. And it's a totally different creation than what I thought I was creating. And so now we can even go back to point 2. That's not a bad thing. It's just good information. Like, oh, I can't ever do a YouTube or a Facebook Live or video of any kind in this part of my house at this time of day, because the sun is like blinding. It's amazing, but it's blinding. So your job is to, when you're manifesting, consciously creating, deliberately creating, is to get as clear about what you want as possible. And what I mean when I say get clear about what you want is to allow yourself to actually be honest about what you already know you want. I'm not talking about figuring out what you want. You know what you want. And if you think you don't, that's not true. You know exactly what you want. More details, more nuance, more information will be revealed to you as you move forward, always, because we're always wanting more. We're always ready, right? Like you're ready to eat a new creation with a new recipe. But the first part for you always is to know what you want right now, be honest with yourself about what that is, and then from there, nope, not even yet, feel into what it feels like to have that. Who is the woman or the man who has that kind of money, those kind of clients, that kind of relationship? Who is the one who looks at their bank account and sees those numbers in checking, savings, credit card? Feel it in your body. Make it real in your mind. This is going back to this first bullet of our work today around mindset. Making sense? Your job is not to come up with a huge to-do list. In fact, that will surely overwhelm you, sabotage you, and get in the way of creating exactly what you want to create. Great. So what is your job and what is not your job in manifesting? Just quickly jot down any questions that you have right now about that point. And then we'll move on to our last point of the day. And if you're joining us a little late in the call, no problem. We talked already about what is possible to create financially and what isn't. We talked about how to use moments of frustration and contrast in your life to learn and make a more conscious and aligned creation in the future. And we just finished talking about what your job is and what it isn't when it comes to manifestation. If you're here right now, I just want to thank you again. Stay tuned. We're about to move into Q&A. We've got one more topic and then we'll go into Q&A. And I just am so excited to help you guys today. And then before the end of the call, we're going to do a little giveaway. We'll talk about that again. So stay here. So excited to have you guys. All right, last topic, how to best price and package your products or services. This is so easy, and because money is the emotional topic that it is, it feels really hard to people. It's not hard. It's so easy. It's like the most basic arithmetic. So I'm just gonna lead you through it briefly because I think that may also lead to some really juicy Q&A. So whatever your products or services are, it literally doesn't matter. You need to be clear about the following things. How much money do you want to make in a set amount of time? I like to work with a month. So how much money do you want to make this month or next month or on an average month? Okay. And for the purposes of this conversation, let's actually think about an average month. So like, let's project into the future. You want to make on average $10,000 a month or $40,000 a month or $6,000 a month or whatever that number is for you. Maybe it's $500,000 a month. Again, refer back to our first chunk of material, right? So think about what you want to actually believe in this number, care about this number. It's not just like, yeah, that'd be nice. It's like, no, I really, really want this amount, okay? So choose that number. And for now, just choose any number that like it doesn't have to be perfect. Choose a number that feels best to you. And let's work with that one. And then I want you to think about how many people you want to help this month or how many of your products you want to sell. Whatever it is that you are selling, whatever it is that people are buying from you, how many of those would you like to see someone say yes to? Yes, that's for me. I want it this month. Or again, in this average month. So for super, super simple math, let's just say that your goal is $20,000 a month and you want to be working with 10 people at a time. Okay, super simple numbers. Then the next step is just to divide, right? If you want to sell 500 of your product every month and you want to make $20,000, just sticking with that same number, then you need to price differently. So we'll use both examples. And I'll do the math for you guys a little bit on paper. So let's say your goal for the average month is 20K. Okay? And you want 10 sales. I'm going to keep it really generic so that you can insert your own product or services. Okay? If you want 10 sales, then each sale, by definition, has to be 2K. Okay? Super simple. So we've got this scenario. And just for fun, let's do another one. Same price, but different number. So let's say that your goal, again, is 20K. But you want to sell 500 units, products, services. Then that's going to be really, really different, right? Do you guys know how much that will be? I'm pulling out my calculator because I don't want to mess up on YouTube Live. Then it's $40 each. Okay? And so these are two really different models, right? Same financial goal, very different price point. And you can play with it the other direction also. So if you're like, you know, a lot of people come to me and they have some moral quandary often about charging a certain amount for their product or services. So you can do it the other way. If you have like, you know, I only want to charge $40 each. Well, then that determines that that means you have to make 500 sales in a month to reach your financial goal. These three numbers are in relationship to one another. Hello, helicopter. And you just have to do the math until it feels good to you. And what I want to encourage you to do is that as you're doing your pricing and packaging, that you are not compromising when it comes to money in terms of your financial goals or in terms of time, right? In terms of like you should not have to sacrifice your quality of life in order to bring in the kind of money that you want. Okay. Time for any and all questions that you have about any of the 4 topics that we've spoken about today. I don't know if this is any better, but let's try it. So what's coming up? Type your question into the chat so that I know what your question is. And feel free to introduce yourself. Let me know what you do or who you are if I don't know you already. And we'll dive in. And while you are gathering your questions together, I will just remind you that at the end of this call, we are going to give away 2 tickets. This is almost a $2,000 value to my next live event. And so just stay tuned. We're going to basically, Nancy, who's my assistant, who shouted herself out a couple times, is going to go through the list of people who've asked questions and randomly choose one of your names, and we'll reach out to you. We'll have, if you are interested in that, then we'll tell you what to do. Laura, it's so amazing that you're here. Absolutely the video will be able to watch again, and we would love for you to share it with as many people as you want. In fact, while you guys are gathering your questions, I will just share two things. One is I was so grateful for all the people that filled out the questionnaire. That information was so helpful. That feedback was so helpful, and we're going to use all of it and keep asking for more. So whatever was helpful to you about this call, please let me know as we continue to release videos. I want to know what's working for you, what's not working for you. What do you want more of? What do you want less of? This is for you. And one of the things that's really important in launching a new YouTube channel is to really build a lot of momentum right at the beginning so that YouTube gets excited and does what it can do to support. So please spread this as far and wide as possible. The analytics are based on how many people have watched it, how much engagement there's been, how long people watch it. So dive in. Cassandra, thank you. This is such a beautiful question. What would you say your biggest mindset obstacle to radically increasing your income was, and how did I move beyond it? I love this question. It's really interesting. The truth is that for me, I think that my biggest challenge, well, let me say this differently. The first part of my mindset limitation was just a lack of exposure. So I just didn't know that you could make this kind of money. I didn't really know anyone who made this kind of money. I didn't have, it wasn't in my field of awareness. And so that was the first thing, and that was part of the benefit of hiring a coach and a mentor to guide me, because then they were these examples of something that I hadn't seen before, hadn't done before. And so that's a huge piece. And we could just stop there because that's so powerful. It's like the blocks that we don't even realize that we have because we haven't seen an example of anything else. But there is an example of more. And so my recommendation is to put yourself outside of your comfort zone, hang out with people that you haven't hung out with before, read different kinds of books. Look at other people. If you're here, it means that there's something around money that's calling to you. So let yourself get really curious about what that might look like. Are you someone that just wants to increase, like double your income? Or do you want to radically change your relationship to wealth? Like I did. Because once I realized what was possible, I was like, oh, you can be wealthy and do exactly what you want to do. You can be wealthy without compromise. You can be wealthy and do good in the world. Hell yeah, sign me up. And for me, the really like such an essential component was hiring someone to help me. So yeah, thank you so much for that question. That's a beautiful question. All right, Michelle, I'm seeing your question. You want a specific amount of money, but can't fully feel yourself receiving it in your body. Why is there a disconnect? It feels too big or impossible for the time frame I want, but I definitely want it. So if you can't feel it in your body, how do you know that you want it? That would be my next question to you. That's where the disconnect is. And so what I would actually guide you through, and so I'm just going to tell you this little tool and then you can use it for yourself. Like, go way, way smaller just as an experiment and choose a number that you want to make in a month that feels not nearly enough. Like, it's less than what you make right now. You'd be pissed if you made that amount, okay? And feel that in your body. And then go up in increments of 500 or 1,000 or whatever. That's up to you, depending on how big you think you want to go. And feel how your body adjusts and changes in response to those different numbers. You know, are you just notice, like, kind of create almost a spectrum in your mind. And this can change tomorrow, but where you are today is what we're working with. So you want to find the number that feels like it's still in your body, but a little edgy, a little exciting, a little more than what you've done before, a little, I can feel that. I can imagine receiving that. That feels good and opening and a little uncomfortable all at the same time. And then if you want to, for the purpose of the exercise, you can go further than that. But that's the sweet spot. And you got to start there, because if you start with a number that you're not deeply connected to, you won't create it, and it will actually set your mindset up to go in the opposite direction, where you actually start to perpetuate a belief that you can't create what you want, which of course is not true. Yes, yes, yes. Ooh, I'm so excited. I just want to shout out everyone that's here. You guys are so awesome, getting some great questions in, taking advantage. I love it. Sika, I'm so happy to be here with you. Yes, the frustration is a jumping off point. Yeah. Okay, so this is also, we can frame this as a mindset tool. Your frustration is a tool to help you become more conscious in areas where you're creating unconsciously. So I'm going to say that again in a different way. If you were 100% conscious, then you would be creating 100% of what you wanted. You are not creating 100% of what you want, not because you can't or aren't allowed or it's bad for you to do so or it's not possible, but simply because you are also creating unconsciously, subconsciously, with the inner child or the fear or whatever other parts of you are also occupying your body. And so your work as an entrepreneur, as a spiritual person, as a seeker, as someone who's trying to transform their lives, transform their relationship with money, is to use the moments of frustration and contrast to get really curious about those parts of you that are creating out of alignment with your vision. What are they doing? It's almost like I picture in this moment, the image that just came to me was like, we're all lined up. We're like carrying, we're dragging a big cart together. It's a rope drawn cart. We're like the horses or something. We're dragging this cart and we're trying to go in one direction and it's not working. And then we stop and we kind of regroup, like what's happening? And we realize that half the team, half of us are pulling in that direction and half are pulling in that direction. Oh, well, no wonder we're not going anywhere. That was a miscommunication. That was a lack of communication. That was a lack of awareness. It wasn't that we were doing something wrong. It wasn't that we were bad people. Not even that we weren't working well together as a team, but there was something fundamental that we didn't get. Well, now we know. So let's all make sure we're going this direction. Checking in with everybody. Okay, we're all going this direction. Everybody's got what they need. Okay, go. And then it's easy. In order to use frustration as a tool for self-mastery, as a tool for growth, as a tool for change, you have to be willing to look at the truth of what you're doing without judgment, without making it right or wrong, without making yourself feel bad, without going on the emotional ride. Now, you might do that anyway, but hopefully you are quick or quicker and quicker at catching yourself and realizing like, oh, I'm beating myself up for this. It doesn't do any good. The beating yourself up is completely unnecessary. It's optional. You can just cut that out altogether. So expect to be frustrated, Sika. If you're trying to grow, if you're trying to make more money, if you're trying to change your life, you will be frustrated sometimes. Sometimes things won't happen as fast or as clear or as fully as you want them to. use that as data. One of my favorite metaphors comes from rocket science again. That when rocket scientists shift into, sorry, I just like, that came from one of you guys. When rocket scientists send rockets into space, they predict where the rocket will be at certain points along the way. They plan it all out. And then they check at every set milestone to see where the rocket is. And it's always wrong. And I love this because rocket scientists are, generally speaking, they're pretty neutral. They're very objective. They're like the supreme scientists, super intellectual. They don't get all bent out of shape every time the rocket isn't where they expect it to be. In fact, they expect that their milestones won't be exact. The point of the milestones is to help them course correct, to give them more information about what's actually happening so that they can make an adjustment so that the rocket can eventually get to where the destination is. So this is a very important tweak to make in all of your mindset. Okay, that you're taking your frustration and turning it into usable data to reflect, not to beat yourself up. Not to convince yourself that it's not possible. It's always possible. Whatever you want, you can create, period, the end. All right, Shauna, how do you suggest one works with their basic budget versus the amount of money actually desired? So I addressed this in a blog that I wrote called Visionary Budgeting, and we will be repurposing that content here on YouTube also. This is a topic that we're going to come back to. The way that I think about this is that there's two kinds of budgeting. You're talking a little bit about traditional budgeting, which is where you take the amount of money that your salary provides every single week or whatever, and you think about what expenses you have and what you want to spend the money on and what you want to save for and all that stuff. And then you make that second set of buckets match the salary. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's what anyone who is an employee who has a fixed income should be doing. It's irresponsible to do anything else. However, if you're an entrepreneur, then your income is 100% based on you. No one else is setting your income. You are. And so in that situation, then it's really important that you bring in this visionary budgeting language and mindset that you not only can, but must bring in the amount of money that you want and need. Your financial integrity, your money mindset integrity depends on you understanding and practicing that you can bring in whatever amount of money you want and need whenever you want and need it. Period. The end. All right. So I'm going to say, because we're in the last 5 minutes of the live, if you are interested in winning those 2 tickets to come to my event at the end of September, it'll be on the East Coast. We're still wrapping up the details, so I don't want to say any more about it, but it's going to be amazing. You just have to get yourself there, get your hotel ticket, okay? But everything else will be covered. If you want to be basically entered into this drawing, then what I want you to do is email info@jessiejohnsoncoaching.com and just say that, okay? Say, Nancy, Jessie, I want to be entered in the ticket giveaway. I want those 2 free tickets, okay? That is just an offer for our live viewers. So sorry, guys, if you're watching the replay, you can't do it. So we'll accept any emails that come in before 4:30 Pacific time. There's so many good questions coming up. Ooh, I love it. All right, Jessica, so nice to have you here. What were the other ways that you felt you were showing up in your calls that affected your results? You mentioned buying into their story was a big one. What were the others? So I'll give you one more piece that I think will really help you. There was a major mindset shift, and it's connected to everything that we talked about at the beginning of the call, in believing that my clients were here waiting for me, and that I didn't need to force anyone or coerce anyone or convince anyone that they should be my client. And so there was that when I started to get this on a feeling level, everything changed. When I knew there's nothing that I can do to convince someone who wants to work with me that they shouldn't. Like, I can't screw up a sale with someone who knows that they're meant to work with me and who I know that we're meant to work together. And conversely, if there's someone who doesn't feel the call to work with me, there's nothing that I can do or say to convince them that they should. That's not my job. My job is to show up in service, believe in what they're capable of, believe in what I'm capable of, and trust that all that I need to do is hold clarity that they find their yes or their no. So there's two things that I'm sharing there, really. One is an attitude of abundance. Like, my clients are here and nobody needs, this person in front of me doesn't need to be the next one, right? They might be or they might not. My job is just to hold clarity for them to figure out what they really want to do. So abundance, I do not need this sale. And it doesn't matter how much you need the money. I'm going to say this again. It doesn't matter how much you need the money. You don't need anyone to be the sale, right? And when you can clear that out, then your whole energy shows up in a totally different way. You're not needy. It's a very, very different quality, right? Because then you can really show up in service. You like how the sun is just like full blast. All right. So in the next 3 minutes, I'm not sure if I am going to get to all of your questions. So let me just see if I can quickly move through them. Ms. Yani, I hope I'm saying your name right. This is such a good question. How do you work through imposter syndrome so that you can allow yourself to receive the money you want? This is all about connecting to your vision, right? Just like really, really invest in this version of yourself that you are choosing, you are investing in, you are wanting to cultivate, become, shine, share. That is, not only will that vision help, like connecting to that vision will help you feel like the truth of who you are, not a fraud, but it's also your guide. Like, talk to that person, journal as if you're in a conversation with that person, that future version of yourself. How would they handle the life situation that you have in front of you right now? How would they talk to the potential client? How would they choose a mentor? How would they decide about this potential partner? You know, that future version of yourself is an ally for you now. So cultivate a relationship with that. You guys are doing so great. So once again, if you want to come to the live event for free, email Nancy at info@jessiejohnsoncoaching.com. Tell her, whoever she gets emails from in the next few minutes, she'll draw one of those names out of the hat and you'll get 2 tickets to our next event at the end of September. All right, last question I'm going to answer today. How do you communicate in a supportive, loving way to someone that you hold space and believe that anything is possible for them when they're super hesitant about coming up with money to pay you? You know what, Priya? I just let them go. Like, you know, it's almost like in a sale, and this is a bigger conversation. This is so much of what I teach, and so much more about this will be coming to YouTube, so stay tuned. But in a sale, you want to experience like you're standing firm. This is who I am. This is what I offer. This is what I stand for. This is what I believe in. Not that you're saying all these things, but just that you're experiencing yourself as steady. And that as you do that, the people that want to work with you are going to come closer. And when you talk about money, often their resistance will come up, but hopefully they're still coming closer. If you feel them pulling away, then just let it go. Just let it go. It's not your job to convince, coerce, or, you know, try to change somebody's mind. It's like, if they want it, then you're here to help them. Period. The end. Hi, Trina. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so much for being with me in this beautiful celebration. We are so excited for the future of the YouTube channel. We're going to be sending out amazing content, much shorter. No Q&A in the live, but like pre-recorded content every single Wednesday. And so if you haven't already, please hit subscribe and click the bell, both because then you get notifications and it's really easy for you, but also because it helps YouTube know that we're serious, we're here to serve, and we want our message to get out as broadly as possible. I can't wait to connect with you guys more next week, and I'm sending tons and tons of love. Love and success to you all. Have a beautiful rest of your week.